Father, the sleeper has awakened!
What's up, YouTube? This is Artisan MC, and this one I just want to talk about dysfunction and fear and chaos. As we all know, we're all going through this crap with COVID. Everybody's cooped up and being indoors, and it can strain a normal person. It can be a little bit of a I don't think I want to call it stir crazy, but it can be a little maddening to be in one place and understand that you are kind of confined and have to be dealing with the reality of you could go out today and contract something that would kill you. It's not a place that people like being, and it's not an idea folks like having circling around in their head all. I think it's even worse when you have relations with people like your children or loved ones or significant others, and you cannot be near them, right? So say my situation, my children are kind of separated from me because they are living their lives. I had a daughter in college and a son with his family. Okay, we're separated by some distance. Now, because this is a quarantine and I'm in California, so there is kind of a quarantine going on, or at least a lockdown going on, where people are being encouraged to stay the fuck home. You're not going to be running from one place to the next to see your family or loved ones in different places. You're not. So you have to, in a sense, make do with understanding that wherever they are, that they are going to be all right, and that they're doing what they need to protect themselves, right, and stay safe through this crisis. Now, that can be a hard thing. It can be a hard thing, and it cannot be enough for some people. And I will say, if you're the kind of person that constantly needs people around you to make you feel good and to feel safe, you're going to have a problem. And I think that's why, numerous people on YouTube can talk about this, of those Hey Big Head texts. Shout out to Dr. Artisan Johnson. Those Hey Big Head texts of women seemingly independent and strong and not needing a man, crawling out of the woodwork and wanting to hit your phone up and try to make some kind of arrangement so you can be there with them. Reason being is that they don't want to be alone. They do not want to be alone with this situation because it preys upon them. The fact that they have to be confined, in a sense, in a house by themselves, drives them crazy. Now, I'll just say, for me, in my experience, most women that I know are pretty extroverted. And extroverted in the sense meaning that they draw their energy from everyone else around them. They draw their validation, their sense of self, their sense of identity from everyone else around them. That they are the type that never want to be alone or by themselves. That someone always needs to be there to manage or be the, recipient of their energy. Without that, they have nothing. Okay. Now, I don't consider it necessarily a failing in them. It's just part of their nature. But how they deal with that ends up being the thing that, will drive me up the fucking wall. Because for me, I'm an introverted person. Meaning that I draw my stability, my energy from myself. From the internal world. If you look at me, you can see somewhat I am a peaceful person. Because I try to cultivate peace within myself. Within my mind. That's why I have no problems being alone for long periods of time. Because it's something that I've learned as a kid to self-sustain. But what this whole quarantine situation is fleshing out and is really interesting to see put forward in a lot of people is that they cannot fucking be alone. They can't. They can't handle it. They cannot handle being alone in a space where it's just them and their thoughts. That their own internal mental world will drive them fucking crazy. And they have no choice but to lash out and start spreading feces on the wall. Or create something. And to me, that's kind of sad. I mean, I'm a psych student, so even without that shit, how people break mentally and what causes them to break mentally is of interest to me. It is of interest to me. It's fascinating to me to understand why that shit happens. Because for me, understanding why something happens is the first step in making sure that it doesn't happen. Right? You walk through a door every day, and every day you walk through that door, you get smacked in the top of the head with a stick. And you look and see that the stick, is leaning against the door some kind of way every time it's, open. Once you figure that out, you should never get hit in the head by a stick again when you walk through that door. You shouldn't, because you already know what the situation is. You already know what's leading to this stick hitting you in the head every time. So for me, that's when I look at things. It's like, it happens this way. Why does it happen this way? Do you want it to happen this way? And how do you keep it from happening this way? If you don't. If you do, you just can keep walking through the door and be blissfully fucking ignorant the whole time. But otherwise, you have to change some shit. So this whole lockdown and quarantine situation, that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a lot of people, and I saw one on YouTube just today. The motherfucker was going live and even saying himself that he was fucking stir crazy. Himself. That he can't sit still, he can't do any of that thing. Yeah, that's unsettled energy. See, I think, in my belief in this country, in America, we are so blessed with so many fucking things and so entitled in our mind states at times. We expect everything to be entertaining us. It is always supposed to be in support of us. All this technology, all this bullshit, it's all there to keep you from doing the one simple thing that you should always do. Be at peace with yourself. Because that's the only way you can cultivate it in other people. You cannot be with yourself and cultivate, discontent and chaos in somebody else. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't. You can't be at peace with yourself and bring chaos to anybody else. You can't. Because a peaceful person is not bringing that chaos. They're not bringing that. That's not the energy they pump out. And when I see a lot of folks run around blaming everybody else for their fucking problems when the source of their problems is them and their internal worlds. That they do not know how to cultivate peace within themselves. And they run around projecting that shit onto everybody else. That is just them. And that's sad. A time like this, last week, I was actually kind of interested in a time like this because I enjoyed what I was seeing. It was actually making people spend some time working on their fucking self. You wouldn't believe how many people I talk to who were actually cleaning their damn houses. Like legit. Reading books. Watching movies that they hadn't watched before. Doing things that they hadn't done in a long fucking time. The reason being is that they were not cultivating their personal selves. They were not. They were cultivating this image of who they were out in the world, but not who they actually are in their internal world. I live in a place of being at peace with myself. That's why a lot of shit that people say doesn't necessarily bother me. And I keep myself away from who I call the dumb motherfuckers who like to keep a bunch of chaos and bullshit going. Because it's detrimental to me, I know it. And what I exercise is my choice not to be around that shit. Because I know I don't have to, I'm not a child. Children have to suffer through the things that their parents do. Because they have no recourse to leave or stop the parents from doing it. Grown adults do not. Grown adults have agency to recognize that what they are dealing with, they do not want. It is not healthy and conducive to anything for them, so they can walk the fuck away. And hopefully, most assuredly, find somebody else who's not keeping up this kind of fucking drama with them. Because that's how it works out. Misery likes company, right? People who complain about shit all the time will always find other people to complain about shit with them. You know why? That's the company. That's the misery. People who are not on that shit are very comfortable being by themselves. You know why? Because they've already learned how to distance themselves from misery. They don't need company. Definitely not being miserable. So, I'm going kind of long on this one, but these are just my thoughts, you know, on a multidimensional space. I would say this whole situation, as potentially dire as it can be for everybody, it should be a learning experience for everyone. And I still see it as a blessing in disguise in some senses, or at least there's a silver lining or one to this whole fucking thing, is that the world having to stop for a minute and not do all this running around with all the rest of this superficial bullshit. You are getting to see who people really fucking are. And a lot of people need to get the fuck in touch with themselves and understand who the hell they are. And make some goddamn changes. Because when all this shit is over, you're gonna have to deal with that. That should be who comes back out into this world. A realer version of yourself. So that's it. Like, share, subscribe. This has been Artisan MC and just my philosophy of a multidimensional man. Peace.